Here I have a vintage Electrolux carpet beautifier. A nice gold-plated sticker there. Found this thing sitting curbside a little less than a year ago. Yeah, it was back last winter. Locally sitting curbside. Unfortunately, I guess there was like a neighbor that, and she's a pretty elderly lady, and unfortunately passed away. And they were they had a yard sale and they sold, I imagine, a few things. And but I guess this was something that was left over, and yeah, they just set it curbside, and figured I was driving by it, and I figured I'd pick it up, and kind of curious. I'm wondering if it's still worth. This is something pretty unique. I do remember my grandmother actually having one of these. She used one of these when I was like a toddler. Just have a vivid reminiscence about it. Um, but hers was not in this strange metallic blues style. Hers was, I think it was like a tan color, which, yeah, it looked very vintage. I really don't know a whole lot about this thing in particular. I know this is a product of the early 80s, I imagine, possibly even late 70s. It's got the handle is pretty much the switch, as I showed you. The switch kind of kicks back, and this releases a pin there. And yeah, like that. Now it's on. It's got that kind of handle switch mechanism. The whole thing is pretty rusty, and I did take it apart and oil the there's in here there's a big cog that drives all three of the scrub brushes underneath here. I thought they were individually driven by an individual motor, but it turns out there's just a big gear or cog, whatever you want to call it, that spins on. Each spinner has its own little gear that basically it's just a motor with a big gear on it. Comes in this tray. It was missing this tray. Originally, these things had a tray that it would sit on, and this was just kind of to help keep the dirt out of it. So get this out of here. Model B-8 double insulation floor polisher. I guess that's the technical term for it. 115 volts, 550 watts, 25 and 0.60 cycles. Electrolux, Bristol, Virginia. Division of Consolidated Food Corp. What I believe it would depict a date, I imagine. I believe this might be from 1985. I would guess a little bit earlier in the 80s, but I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's some kind of date hieroglyphically hidden in that code there. But A5676T. Yeah, it's got this soap dispenser here. You pull on the string, it releases it, your carpet soap, through this tube, which originally the tube did have some pretty gunk in it, and the tube could be replaced too. It's kind of starting to dry rot, as typical rubber like that does over time. This thing has definitely been sitting in a storage or sitting in a basement or something for a long time, or it's got a little bit of rust on it. Definitely got some weight to it too. I'd say it weighs around 50 pounds. Probably less, more like 40 maybe. I don't know. I'm no human scale, but yeah. When servicing, use only identical replacement parts. Yeah. Scrubbers aren't in bad shape, or it's not too nasty or anything. I mean, it's just got things from it. I guess the tray these things set in got lost a while ago when under their ownership. But yeah, basically you got these little hex screws and 5/16 nuts. I pulled this out, and that's where I discovered it was just a big gear inside of here that spins all of these. I'll tell you apart, but I just don't have the time to do that right now. But I did throw some 3-in-1 oil in the electric motor has a while ago when I did take it apart and service it. It was kind of a pain to get it back together. It took a long time, but very well designed machine either way. I mean, obviously it's still around today and it works great. Motor is a little bit worn. You tell it takes its time to get up to speed, but it's got a matching cord to it that is non-polarized. It says Electrolux. Yeah, as far as that's really all I have for this thing. I really don't have any plush carpet to really use this thing on to demonstrate it on, but nonetheless, I'm going to keep it. It's going to plan on using this eventually whenever I get a chance. But yeah, so I have it for this circa 1985, possibly. I'm not even sure, but I'm just going to say that. Could be 76. I'm not sure, but yeah. Electrolux vintage carpet beautifier. Appreciate you viewing. Have a good one.